Flashback Friday video for you guys today. Today is going to be the first of a couple of indie videos that I'm going to do based off of finishes, which was actually suggested by someone in the comments, and I totally appreciate it. Someone else commented and said it was genius. I totally agree. This is the best way to do it. So yeah, today I have the Holos video for you guys. If you guys missed my sort of overview timeline indie video, which I just posted, I will link that down below. I go over just a brief timeline of how I got into indies and international brands and all of the finishes that I'm going to talk about. So I will link that video down below. It'll be the first video link. Just as a quick recap, I got into Holos because I started collecting nail polish at the end of 2009, which is when I made this channel, and I had seen on all of these different blogs holo nail polishes. I actually was able to purchase most of the OMG collection by China Glaze. At that point, the Holo selection was essentially the OMG collection by China Glaze, as well as a couple of OPI's DS series polishes. There was a Gosh holographic nail polish, as well as Chanel made one, and that was, I feel like, it. There were a couple of Color Club ones. There was a silver Color Club and like a darker gray Color Club holo, but that was essentially it. There was also a New Bar color, which I actually have. This is in the color Reclaim by New Bar, and it is a sort of grassy green linear holo. But aside from that, most of the holos that you were able to purchase were silvers, and most of them were very limited and discontinued. So when Say Anything Brooke started talking about holos and really being able to purchase them, the first place that she talked about was Llarowe. And this was when Llarowe was still selling nail polish that wasn't her own. Before she made Colors by Llarowe, she was primarily an indie and international brand nail polish seller, and she had the best website, she had the best selection, and she was the person that you really turn to purchase indie and international and really hard to find nail polishes. Again, Say Anything Brooke talked about the Hints No Olimpo collection, which came with a bunch of Greek gods and goddesses inspired holo nail polishes. I talked about Aries and Dionyso on my last video, and the other two that I actually purchased at the time were in the color Zeus and Apolo. Zeus is a black holo and Apollo was a blue holo. It should be noted that the holo colors that you could purchase once you were able to purchase off of Llarowe were basically red, black, blue, purple. Sometimes there was a green. Mostly it was silver and gold. Like, it was a really limited color selection, as well as a really limited amount of brands that you could purchase from. Other colors that were super big at the time, this is Lizard Belly by Glitter Gal, and this is a very dark green linear holo. And again, green was kind of green was not as easy to find, I feel like, which you'll see later. Like, I get a ton of green holo nail polishes because it suddenly got easier to buy them, but Glitter Gal's Lizard Belly, I remember, was a huge deal as well because it's a gorgeous dark green and it's a holo. And I remember Temptalia even like reviewed this on her site, and she doesn't do a ton of indie nail polishes. She did a bunch of like Lindarella, but I remember she even reviewed this on her site, and so it was like something that I knew I should pay attention to. At the same time, some of my first Llarowe orders were Glitter Gal. This is another Glitter Gal one. This is in the color Bondi Blue, and it is a light sky blue holographic. And there it goes. This is the Ludurana color in Superior. I showed you guys the purple one in my last video. This was another one from one of my very first purchases on Llarowe. And then Ozotic was a big brand. It's another Australian brand, I believe, and they had like a duochrome holos, which was really cool. They're not super opaque. They're a little bit like on the jelly side, but they were gorgeous. And they were the first ones that I ever saw do like a duo multi-chrome sort of nail polish with a holo inside. I noticed from looking through my stash that I had a lot of silver holos, and I feel like for me, the the goal at the time of really getting into indie and international polishes, specifically holo nail polishes, was to find the #1 best silver holo. I feel like the Chanel and the Gosh holographics were the ones that everyone really compared to, because I feel like they were the first and most coveted. So I purchased a lot of silver holos off of Llarowe at that time. This is another one. This is from Colors, and it's in the color Chuva de Prata. This is another, I think this is a Brazilian brand. And then at around the same time, Nfu Oh got really huge, and it was really hard to purchase Nfu Oh's number 61 because it was always sold out. But this sort of became the silver holo to replace all the really hard to find ones from before, and the one that people compared to. It's still my favorite silver holo. I think it's the best one. This particular holo formula is very different from most holos. Most holo nail polishes have a very specific nail polish like feel to them. They have a little, that like every nail polish is just slightly got, I wouldn't say like a jelly texture because it's not a jelly, but they all have that sort of like nail polish like consistency. The holo that's in this is totally different. When you put this on, and anyone that has this knows that when you put this on, it dries down to almost like a dull aluminum foil type of finish, which is it's like the closest I can think of. It feels like, not feels, but it just applies like a very thin and non-shiny enamel, I guess you would say. And it's the closest in formula to the OMG collection from China Glaze that I have. So when I was able to finally purchase this, because it was always sold out and people were like so coveting it, I fell in love with it, and it's absolutely the best holo that I have. Most of the nail polishes, by the way, in this video are going to be linear holos. I'll talk about holo glitters in my chunky glitter video, but I wanted to keep this primarily linear holo nail polishes. Moving on to other nail polishes that I was purchasing when I was first purchasing from Llarowe. I found the brand Enchanted Polish. The Beatles being one of my favorite bands of all time, and it's something that my dad and I bonded over. And Enchanted Polish's one of their first collections being based off the Beatles totally sold me. I was able to actually purchase a couple of Enchanted Polishes in their original bottles before they got super big from the Beatles collection. I got Octopus's Garden and Mean Mr. Mustard, which were my first Enchanted Polishes. They have a multi-chrome base and have a really strong holo in them, and the multi-chrome in this is much more opaque than the Ozotic ones. So this really made me like covet all the other ones. At that same time, people started finding Enchanted Polish more, so it was really hard to get your hands on them for like the longest. They're still really hard to get your hands on, but I remember that was when like the big boom came for Enchanted Polish. A couple of other Enchanted Polishes that I think she did really well were the Time to Pretend collection. Honestly, I think her best polishes are the multi-chrome, duochrome holos that she made in the Beatles collection and the Time to Pretend collection. Those colors, in my opinion, were the most unique and the most well-done polishes that Enchanted Polish really ever did. Around the same time, I found Picture Polish. This particular one is called Monroe. This is the first formulation of Monroe, and this is a very beautiful vampy sort of Hollywood red with a very delicate linear holo running through it. The second version of it is totally different, but this one was absolutely stunning. I saw it just browsing Llarowe's website, saw it, had to have it, and it's absolutely beautiful. And that kind of caps off the first like section of holos for me. That was like the first generation of really big holos, in my opinion. That was kind of when the shift towards everyone making their own holos happened, and holos became more accessible. The middle section, I guess you would call, or like the second generation of holos in my personal holo timeline, started off with A England. I remember when A England suddenly got huge, and it's because of their formula. Their formula was just known to be really buttery and really opaque, but also have this beautiful holo running through it. I wouldn't say it's completely a linear holo, it's a little bit on the speckled side, but they were gorgeous. These are some of my 3 favorite A. Englands. I love St. George. I talked about it in my last video, my quick picks teal video, so I'm not going to have it here in this video, but these 3 from A. England are some of my favorites. This first one is Tristam, and then this one is Dragon, and this one is Briarwood. I also turned to Etsy again to find other nail polishes. This was actually sparked by my want of having shimmers, which I'll talk about in my shimmer video, but I found Starlight Polish, and I found that they not only made beautiful shimmers, but they made holos as well. They have a set of dragon, phoenix, and unicorn themed nail polishes that are top coat. There's a top coat of shimmers for each animal. There is a shimmer in a colored base for each animal, and then there is a shimmer and a colored base with a holo for each animal. And these are the holo ones. I really like Starlight Polish's holo top coat as well. It's one of my go-tos. I remember when Lilypad lacquer got really huge, I actually saw these off of Alyssa's Instagram, because they were at around the same time. That's when Instagram got kind of big. And Alyssa, who makes planner stickers and stuff now and got super huge in the planner world, first started off as a nail blog, and that's where I found her. And these are Australian nail polishes, and she's from Australia, and she was just taking photos of these and talking about these all the time. So this is Seasong by Lilypad Lacquer, and this is True Blood. True Blood is my favorite. It's so good. It's a dark purpley, it's a reddish purple actually, but this is just a stunning nail polish. And then there was Nailnation 3000. This is the original Nailnation 3000 bottle. I've had these for so long. I purchased from her a while ago, and I purchased quite a few nail polishes from Nailnation 3000, and they were some of my favorite holos. This one is Glowworm, and it's a bright, almost neon green holo, and then this one is Baby Doll, and it's a really soft pinky mauve color. And Nailnation 3000 were some of the first really bright sort of neon and bolder colored holos I had found. Around the same time, actually, I'll talk about this even though it's not an indie, Urban Outfitters came out with holo nail polishes. I hoarded like a couple of these silver holos because they were really good. There was a pink and a green one as well. They were just called silver, pink, and green holo, and I wish that they made these permanent because they were beautiful. And then this is Girly Bits Dick in a Box. Had to talk about this just so I could say Dick in a Box in a video again, but this was another holo and another indie brand that popped up at around this time of just like an indie like uprising that came out with a bunch of holos. These are from Starlight Polish. I remember talking to Rada online on Twitter, and she was like, if you love holos, you need to get these because they have a beautiful color range and a really nice formula. This one is CU2+, and then this one is Kale, and this one is Katydid. They actually remind me a lot of like A. England's formula. They go on really smoothly. Rada was also the one that turned me onto Jade nail polishes. This is Jade Mystic Gold. It's the most beautiful gold holo nail polish. It's my favorite gold holo nail polish, and it's for me the gold holo that is the end all of gold holos, and it's the one that I compare everything to, and I love this. Another Jade nail polish that I actually really like is in the color Ecstasy, which is like a steel blue color. And then the end of like my like second generation of nail polish, holo nail polishes, and like the second section of my relationship with holos, I guess, would have to end with the Dance Legend holos, and these are amazing. I remember when these came out and everyone was like, you guys, it's like the new big thing in holos, and I was like, is there really like a new big thing in holos? Like, how much better does it get? Like, I love holos, so it's not like it's not gonna like blow my mind, but they did blow my mind because they had a really nice formula again. They're not quite as nail polishy as other holos were. It's again it's like halfway between the Nfu Oh and like a regular nail polish. And then section 3, it kind of timeline wise overlaps with section 2 because I'm actually going to start section 3 and generation 3, I guess, with Colors by Llarowe. Colors by Llarowe started making her own nail polishes about a year before, like around the same time that I actually bought the Dance Legend nail polishes and some of the Chirality nail polishes. She was starting to make her own nail polishes. She started out with a couple of holos and a couple of glitters, and actually her formula to begin with was very, very thick and a little bit hard to deal with. She eventually figured out her formula, and they actually end up being like some of the best nail polishes that wear on me. They last on me forever. One of the first nail polishes that I bought from Llarowe is actually called Zipper, which I believe was named after her dog. And I bought this because it was very, very similar in color to an Enchanted polish, nail polish that I don't remember what it's called, but this is a baby blue with a linear holo in it. And then some of my other favorite Llarowe nail polishes. This is Black Gold Texas Tea. It's one of my favorite black holos. This is Believe in Miracles, which was one of her first polish, which was her first polish of the month. But it's a beautiful holo. Blonde Ambition is a great one. I think this is the most beautiful, and it's my favorite neutral colored holo. Around the same time, I started picking up a couple of holo top coats to go with my holo collection, just so that it would, you know, it's not just colors. I could use the holo top coats over other nail polishes. This is from Darling Diva. This is Cray Cray, and this has actually a little bit of a shifty shimmer running through it as well. And then Glitterdaze was a brand that actually contacted me initially, and I did a small review for them, and this is one of the first Glitterdaze nail polishes that I ever got. This is in Supernova 2014, and it's a really pretty sort of candy pink color, and it's very, very girly, and it has a holo running through it, and there's a little bit of a shifty shimmer in it as well. I also started reviewing for Cirque Colors, and Cirque Colors I had always seen that Cirque Colors had beautiful holos. These are a couple of newer ones to me. This one is the color Matter, and this is in La Tropicale. I just talked about this in my last video as well, and these are some holos from her line. And then last year, Lindsay and Holly actually told me that I needed to get this one. This is from Nailnation 3000. This was the first time I had repurchased from Nailnation 3000 in like a couple of years. The only other colors that I had from her were from her original little bottle with the silver top. This is in the color The Road to Nowhere Leads to Me. It's a beautiful teal nail polish. Llarowe has only recently been selling her own nail polishes because she kind of semi-retired, but she's been producing a lot of really beautiful nail polishes. A big one that was like a big deal recently was her Chasing a Unicorn. Yeah, Chasing a Unicorn white holo duo. It comes with a white color correcting base, which for me is just like it's a white nail polish. And this is a very light gray holo topper that you put on top. But as you can tell, this third section of my holos is kind of scatterbrained. It's not particularly timelined out because at the end of my second phase of buying holo nail polishes, holos became very, very accessible, which is really a good sign that, you know, holos are going to stick around forever. But they were available in like every color, and almost every single indie brand at least makes holos now, and so it's not a really hard to find finish anymore, which again, it's a really nice thing. But because it's so easy to find, and because I've been able to purchase so many holos in basically every color I'm ever gonna need, I don't have a ton to talk about in this third section. More recently, I would say the two most notable things for me, at least in this third section, I mean, like, Colors by Llarowe is great, and the holo top coats were really, really nice, but after that it was like, you know, 1 to 2 random holos were purchased. And then most recently in the last year, the two most notable things were 90 Lacquer, which is Jess Face 90's nail polish brand that she created last August, was when she debuted her brand. And then the other super notable thing I would say is that holos have now been paired up with other things. There was a period where holos weren't as important to me as finding shifty shimmers or as, you know, the chunky glitter, and so that's why this third section is kind of sparse. But recently I feel like holos have been making a sort of comeback, you could say, because they've been featured differently in nail polishes in the last year and a half. Like, There have been, again, the Holo glitters that I'm going to talk about in my glitters video. Holos have been less linear and more scattered in not just indie brands, but also in mainstream brands. Like Zoya had a holiday collection with sort of scattered holo running through them. I Love Nail Polish has recently in the last year done more of a scattered holo than a linear holo in their nail polishes. And then this is the KB Shimmer Birthstone Color in Diamond, and this is in the metallic flaky formula, but there's also a holo in this. So people are adding holos back into nail polishes and not necessarily the linear holo style. They're adding them into different textures. So that's kind of like where holos are for me right now. So yeah, that is my video on holo nail polishes and sort of where I started and my like middle phase of all of these, like the growth of holos in different indie brands and sort of where they evolved to now. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it wasn't too scatterbrained there at the end. And if you guys did, give it a thumbs up. If you guys would subscribe, that would totally make my day. If you guys have any particular holos that are your favorite, or if you have a shade that you love in holos, like I have so many teal holos and so many silver holos that it's a little ridiculous. But let me know in the comments down below, because holos are my favorite finish of nail polish. I think I can safely say holos are my favorite. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and my next video is going to be on chunky glitters for Flashback Friday. I have a mini purge video that's going to go up after this. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys soon.